Yo, it's your boy Marita boy. I'm back up in this thing, man. Listen. I told y'all, man. Look, man, I'm grinding. If I ain't sleepy and I see come across some stuff that I would like to share with you guys, some content that I would like to share with you guys on the internet, I'm putting it out there. I'm putting it out there, man. You know what I'm saying? I understand that people that watch this channel all over the world, man, they're in different time zones. It's daylight somewhere. You know what I mean? It's daylight somewhere. It's daylight here where I'm at. You know what I mean? I ain't been to sleep though. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the grind. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. You know what I'm saying? I'm focused. I'm motivated. You know what I'm saying? And I'm finna crank this content out for you guys, man. You know what I mean? You don't work, you don't eat. You know what I mean? If I ain't putting out content, I'm probably gonna be sleeping. Then when I wake up and be putting out some more content for you guys. But I appreciate all the interaction that you guys been giving me on all these um videos that I've been putting out, man. You know what I mean? I still got some follow-ups to do on a couple more videos. You know, I definitely want to see what's up with the young lady enlightened. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what's up with her. I think it's enlightened. Look, the young lady from 1017, who everybody said possibly um is dead, but some people say she don't like support. So I'm gonna check her out. You know what I'm saying? See if I can get any updates on her situation. You know what I'm saying? But this came across my desk, man. You know, it's a tragic story of a young lady who was unalived by her baby daddy, and then as crazy as it may seem, the baby daddy fed their baby to an alligator, man. This is the story of Pashawn Jeffries. You know what I'm saying? Well, I think it's Passion, really. You know what I mean? You know how we spell it. You know what I mean? Passion Jeffries. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. It's just sad, man, that this type of stuff is going on nowadays, man. Like I can't even imagine. You know what I mean? This is his baby as well. You know what I mean? Little bitty boy. I'm finna play the video, man. Trigger warning. I'm gonna say that. Trigger warning, man. Trigger warning. For real. This is crazy. Shout out to Gritty. Go subscribe to Gritty. Y'all see the channel. Go subscribe to Gritty, man. This they content, man. But it was crazy. So I felt like I had to share it with you guys, man. It was posted 18 hours ago. Got 44,000 views. This is crazy. And it's in Florida. You know, I'm a Florida boy, so you know, I feel it's especially close to this situation, man. This is just crazy. It's just sad.
To retrieve Taylon's body intact.
Hold out a little bit.
We're without words. You know, we love Passion very much, and we love
Very
Taylor.
much.
So we've lost Passion. So we ask you guys to help us to find Taylor and to get him back, please.
Please help, please.
And we want to know where he is, and we're glad that they're doing it, so that we can have a possibility of getting him and getting him back. So
Oh, look at the glam. Oh,
thank you.
please help
I
us.
appreciate it.
On March 29th, 2023, this 20-year-old mother of one, Pashan Jeffries, was hosting a birthday party for her 21-year-old boyfriend, Thomas Mosley. This party was held in her Lincoln Shores apartment complex in St. Petersburg, Florida, and both families were in attendance. However, everybody left after the party was over around 5:30 p.m., leaving Pashan alone with her boyfriend, Thomas Mosley, and their 2-year-old son, Taylon. The following morning, Pashan's family tried to call her on the phone as they usually did every morning, but all her calls went straight to voicemail. So, her aunt decided to go check up on her, but nothing prepared her for the horror she was about to witness behind those closed doors. Pashan lay dead inside her apartment with over 100 knife wounds. Thomas and their 2-year-old son were nowhere to be found. But the following day, 2-year-old Taylon Mosley would be found in the mouth of an alligator at Lake Maggiore, while his father, Thomas, was found in a nearby hospital where he was receiving treatments for several knife injuries. Now, the question is, who murdered Jeffrey in such a horrific way? How did baby Taylon get into the lake? Was he thrown in there alive to be killed by the alligators? And does Thomas have something to do with any of these? At age 20, Pashan Mosley had a life story that was both inspiring and challenging. She grew up in St. Petersburg, Florida, and was a standout student at Northeast High School. Despite all odds, she graduated with top honors in 2021, an achievement made all the more remarkable because she was also a young mother at the time. Her graduation picture would melt your heart, as it shows her proudly holding her son, Talon, born in October 2020, to her and her then boyfriend, Thomas Mosley. Thomas dreamed of making it big in the music world as a rapper, but his focus on this dream meant he wasn't always around to help Passion and their son as much as he could have been. Passion, however, was determined to build a better future for herself and Talon. So, after high school, she started working full-time at CVS Pharmacy and managed to secure a new apartment at Lincoln Shore Apartments. It was a source of pride for her, being able to stand on her own 2 feet and provide for her son. Talon, affectionately nicknamed Tay-Tay, was a bundle of joy, always dressed in his favorite color, orange. When Pashun was at work, Talon would stay with his loving grandmother, Lakita, or Pashun's aunt, Theo. Pashun made sure to video call Talon during her breaks, and the little boy eagerly counted the minutes until he could be reunited with his mom after her shifts.
He misses mom. They call each other all the time. She really loved Taylor.
Yeah, we don't know.
She always was there for Taylor. She calls on breaks.
Yep. And
Early in the morning, they face.
hey.
In the morning, they FaceTime me early in the morning.
Pashun and Talon had just settled into their new home when Thomas reappeared out of the blues and moved in with them. Despite the frustration of living with someone who wasn't contributing financially, things seemed to be looking up. In fact, on March 29, 2023, Pashun hosted a party for Thomas's 21st birthday. All their family and friends were present at that party. Once they were done with the celebration that evening, Pashun's mother, Lakita, left, promising to catch up with Pashun on FaceTime the next morning, as they usually did every day. But when the next day came, Pashun's phone just rang out to voicemail. Her Aunt Theo also tried to reach her, but with no response.
The phone went to voicemail and nobody answered, and just kept going to voicemail, and my gut told me something was wrong.
This made both women really worried because they couldn't think of anything that could make her phone unavailable that early in the morning. So, Aunt Theo decided to go check on Pashun and Talon at the apartment during her lunch break that day. But what she found would send cold shivers down her spine. Pashun's car was parked outside with the front door open when she got there, but there was a trail of red stains leading from the car to the apartment's front door. At this point, she knew that something was terribly wrong, and her suspicion was confirmed when, after knocking on Pashun's door for several minutes, no one answered. So she sought help from the apartment staff, who agreed to open Pashun's apartment door for her. But nothing could have prepared any of them for the horrific scene that awaited them behind those closed doors. The entire apartment was covered in red, and inside the bathroom was Pashun's lifeless body. Even though no one at this point knew exactly what happened to Pashun or who was responsible for it, she was brutalized to the point that it was almost impossible to recognize her. But even more heart-wrenching was the discovery that her 2-year-old toddler, Talon, was nowhere to be found while his mother lay dead in the bathroom. No one knew if he was okay, if he was alive, or worse still, if he faced the same fate as his mother. So, the search for Talon began.
So we asked for your help in finding him. Somebody knows.
Somebody knows something. Please speak up. Somebody knows something. Somebody saw something. We call him Tay-Tay. Tay-Tay,
Yes, he will answer.
the glam. Answer the glam.
Yeah, he answers to a lot of things. He's very smart.
He's always calling his mom on his cell phone.
Yep, always. We're without words. We love Passion very much, and we love
Very
Taylor.
much.
So we've lost Passion. So we ask you guys to help us to find Taylor and to get him back. Please
help, please.
The story is, and we're glad that they're doing it, so that we can have a possibility of getting him. you getting him back. So
Look at the glam.
thank you.
Please
I
help us.
appreciate it.
When the search for Talon began, the officers already had his mother's homicide to solve, but they prioritized finding little Talon because that was the only thing that could make a difference in such a situation. I mean, his mother is already dead.
If you have this child, please call us. Let us know that this child is safe, because that's our main concern right now. We're not looking to charge anyone. We just want to know where this child is right now to make sure that he is safe.
So, without delay, they issued an Amber Alert, and everyone from the local authorities to the FBI joined the hunt for Talon.
We have everyone. We have held over every shift, and we have everyone here working to gather evidence and see if we can find this child. Our first priority is to find Talon and to make sure he's okay.
That Talon is a beautiful little boy. And he's really loving and caring. And he's just very sweet. And he'll smile and laugh at anybody. And there's Amber Alerts everywhere. I have people all over the country calling me about the Amber Alerts. So I'm asking everybody, if anybody, somebody saw something.
Please
okay?
speak up.
So if you know something, say something. Help us get Talon back. Talon lost his mommy. So he needs his family right now.
While they were searching for Talon, they were also on the lookout for Thomas, because he was the last person with Passion, and Talon after their families and friends left the birthday party the previous day. So, the urgency to find Thomas was high, because if it was an intruder that broke into the house and murdered Pashun, then Thomas might have escaped with Talon and taken him somewhere safe. On the other hand, if Thomas was responsible for Pashun's death, then he might have perhaps spared Talon's life and taken him with him wherever he was. In either of the scenarios, the detectives needed to find him as quickly as possible so they could begin to piece together the puzzle to determine what actually happened to Pashun and the whereabouts of their 2-year-old.
Our two most important things right now is number one, to find Talon and bring him home, and number two, to find out who killed Miss Jeffries. That's our main goal right now. This is all hands on deck. Every detective is working this case.
In their search for Thomas, the investigators made a quick drive to his mother's house, which was about 20 minutes away from Pashun's apartment. There, they learned that Thomas had shown up there the previous night, visibly injured, with cuts on his arms and hands. He had then gone to St. Andrew's Hospital for treatment, and the officers immediately followed this lead to the hospital and found Thomas with injuries that looked like he had accidentally cut himself with a knife during an attack, not like he had been defending himself from an attack. When they tried to question him, Thomas shut down and asked for a lawyer, leaving the whereabouts of Talon unknown and increasing the urgency of the search.
We want to talk to the father. Again, we want to know where Talon is. And we want the father, if he knows where Talon is, to tell us. And that's what we want. We want Talon.
While some officers tried to get information from Thomas at the hospital, others were scouring the area with helicopters, drones, and even bloodhounds from neighboring counties. They searched every possible place, from lakes to canals, hoping to find Talon. They even took Pashun's car in for forensics and took away the dumpster in front of their home that might hold clues or any evidence that might be useful to them.
When you see them taking those dumpsters off of the property to a secure offsite to sift through them, you get a pit in your stomach thinking about what could have happened to little Talon. And again, right now, this scene is still active. There are not as many blue lights as there were earlier. They have turned those down, but they have still been going door to door, trying to talk to people to see if they heard anything, if they saw anything, trying to find out if they have surveillance footage, and trying to see if we can find out what happened to little Talon.
The community and everyone who knew Pashun's family came together, searching day and night, hoping to bring Talon back to his distraught family.
We need to find this 2-year-old.
A toddler missing, a mother found dead.
It was a very violent homicide.
And neighbors in shock.
Why is there so much hate in this world? You know, that you could do something so horrible, such a heinous crime.
Just absolutely devastating.
That little boy is going to be traumatized for the rest of his life. And I'm really hoping and praying they find him alive.
Meanwhile, investigators processed the crime scene at Pashun's home, looking for any clue that could explain the events of the previous night. Neighbors reported hearing a commotion around 8:15 p.m. that night, but nothing seemed out of the ordinary, so they didn't call the cops.
Chief Anthony Holloway says family members last saw 20-year-old Passion Jeffrey and her 2-year-old son Taylon here at Lincoln Shores Wednesday afternoon. 9:30 that night, neighbors heard a commotion in the apartment, and when family requested a welfare check around 2:30 Thursday afternoon, after not hearing from Jeffrey, she was dead and her son was nowhere to be found.
The search continued into the next day when a shocking discovery was made near Thomas's mother's house. Liddell Golden, a local fisherman, was at Lake Maggiore, known for its alligator population, when he spotted one of the reptiles with something large in its mouth. A terrible feeling washed over him as he called the authorities who were close by to the scene. It was a grim moment when the officers realized the alligator was holding a small child. One of the officers quickly fired a single round at the gator, killing it and forcing it to release its grip on the child.
Through investigative technique, we were able to find an area around Delhome Park that led the investigators to that area. The detectives had been there all afternoon, and while they were there, they were spotted an alligator with an object in his mouth. As the detectives got closer, they fired one round to the alligator. The alligator dropped the object that he had in his mouth.
The body was then retrieved and heartbreakingly confirmed to be young Taylon.
To retrieve Taylon's body intact. It's with great sadness that I have to inform you here today that Taylon's body has been found. It is my condolences going out to the family and to his loved ones. We are sorry that it had to end this way. Well, I can't tell you that. Just think about anybody. The officer sees a body of a child. What would be your reaction to that? What would you think? So that officer, he or she has to, they've been working since Wednesday, and they see a child in an alligator's mouth. So they got to do their job, but at the same time, I can't tell you their reaction. I can tell you probably a lot of emotion went through their body, but they still had to do their job.
Following the discovery of Taylon's body, the investigators worked tirelessly to gather enough evidence to make an arrest in the case. So, they started by searching through Pashun's apartment and Thomas's mom's house. Their efforts focused on piecing together every bit of evidence they could find, and one crucial piece was Pashun's cell phone data, which revealed a timeline of events after her murder. The cell phone data showed that her phone left her apartment at 8:30 p.m., then pinged near Lake Maggiore, before eventually reaching Thomas's mother's residence at 9:15 p.m. Inside Pashun's apartment, the investigators found bloody footprints with a distinctive Gucci logo, indicating that the person who committed the crime was wearing a pair of Gucci shoes. There was also a bottle of a cleaning agent hidden under the bed with some bloody fingerprints on it. When the fingerprints were collected, they were compared to Thomas Mosley's, and they came back as a match. With these pieces of evidence in hand, Thomas Mosley was arrested from the hospital and charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in connection with the deaths of Pashun and Taylon Mosley.
The father, Thomas Mosley, is now being charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. I can tell you now that Taylon's mom, Miss Jeffries, her body was multiple times.
While initial reports from law enforcement mentioned multiple knife wounds, an affidavit later revealed that Pashun had over 100 knife wounds. This shocking revelation left many wondering about the extent of the brutality inflicted upon her before her death. As for baby Taylon,
100 knife wounds. My Lord. Listen, bro, let me tell you something. Think about this, bro. Over 100 knife wounds? Bro, listen. Just let that soak in for a second. Over 100 knife wounds. Bro, it's serial killers that don't stab their victims over 100 times. Over 100 times, he that was rage. That was rage to which we have no idea. I don't know what got them to that point or got them in what happened to get for this to happen, but over 100 stab wounds to that lady's body, his baby mama body, his girlfriend's body. Then to go and throw the baby, then to go to throw the baby in a lake where the alligators can eat the baby up. Boy, I hope they get this motherfucker the death penalty, boy. Ooh, shit, I hope they kill him the death penalty.
The cause of his death remained unclear.
Until the medical examiner has a chance to look at Taylor's body, we cannot tell you the cause of death.
However, the affidavit suggested that throwing him inside the lake contributed to his death. This, therefore, raises the question as to whether he was thrown into the water alive and was killed by the alligator, or if he was already dead before his father, Thomas, dumped his body inside the water to conceal the evidence of his atrocious act. However, the Pinellas County medical examiner believes that he was still alive when he was thrown into the water, but was not attacked by the alligators because his body was found intact with no form of injury. His cause of death was, therefore, later ruled as drowning.
Halen Mosley, the
Damn.
2-year-old boy whose body was found inside the mouth of an alligator, drowned. This is according to the Pinellas County medical examiner.
Thomas Mosley was a mystery. There was not much information about him on social media or anywhere online, but we managed to find his YouTube channel with over 1,000 subscribers and 57 videos on it. These poorly done music videos were quite the spectacle, as Thomas flaunted money, brandished guns, and puffed on Mary Jane like it was going out of style. And the lyrics of those songs? Well, let's just say deciphering them was like cracking a military-grade encrypted device.
That's crazy. Bro, it's one of the
They made
worst case
absolutely
crimes
no
I ever heard of.
sense, and made us think that one of the investigators who hinted that Thomas might be dealing with some mental health issues could be right. Mental health is not something investigators toss around lightly. So, for the officer to say it, it means Thomas must have been grappling with some serious demons. It is also very unusual for someone who did something so terrible to check himself into a hospital right after, instead of going off the grid. To date, the motive behind this crime has not been determined. However, some believe Thomas orchestrated the whole thing as a sick way to celebrate his 21st birthday. He waited until after the party to unleash havoc, then nonchalantly surrendered himself to authorities as if he'd already accepted his fate. This is just like a horror movie plot unfolding in real life. The saddest part is how Thomas disposed of baby Talon, tossing his own child into a lake like yesterday's trash, hoping he'd vanish without a trace. If it weren't for little Golden being in the right place at the right time, the poor child might never have been found. Liddell said finding Talon was hard for him, especially since he has a daughter Talon's age. And then, Liddell found out Pashan's family are his distant relatives. It's like it was meant to be that he was there to find Talon. Pashan's family is still in the agonizing process of getting justice for her and their grandson. After Thomas was charged with their murders, his lawyer entered a not guilty plea on his behalf, despite the prosecutors seeking the ultimate sentence if he's convicted.
Yeah, give him the death penalty.
However, in October 2023, a judge ruled Thomas Mosley incompetent to stand trial,
Oh, man.
right after reviewing reports from 2 court-appointed doctors who recommended that the state hospital in Chattahoochee was the best place for him at the time.
And I'll find that Mr. Mosley is not competent to
Oh,
proceed.
man, he going to the crazy house, bro. This nigga might get out one day.
His next evaluation in court was then scheduled for April 22nd, 2024. However, at the time of making this video, we don't have any reliable updates on the case. Meanwhile, Anthony Rickman, a defense attorney not affiliated with the case, has said that Thomas is never walking free from this. According to him, it is pretty common in criminal court for a defendant to be considered incompetent to stand trial.
So this is not a case where he's walking free. He's not a case where because he's incompetent today doesn't mean he won't be tried in the future. This is a case where, as we sit right now, he's found to be incompetent, and as a result, they need to send him to the state hospital to restore that competence.
He stated that there's a significant difference between incompetency and insanity.
He's not saying, hey, I was insane at the time of the offense. We're talking about, as it stands right now, he's not competent to stand trial. And that's different than somebody being insane or raising that insanity defense.
So this is more of a procedural system to ensure that the defendant is in the right state of mind to assist his legal team in his defense. We hope that whenever the state is done rehabilitating him and deems him fit to trial, he will be made to face the consequences of his actions. But until then, our heart goes out to the family, and we pray that they find the strength to keep fighting until they get justice for their loved ones.
I want people to remember them as two kids who absolutely loved each other.
Did you ever see this coming?
I told him this morning I would have never in a million years when this week started ever thought that something like this was happening. We were supposed to have Taylor on Saturday. Adjusting without them.
Yes.
And life is going to be hard.
How do you think you do that?
I don't know. I have no clue.
Do you think Thomas put Taylor in the water?
Bro, listen, let me tell y'all something. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. I've been doing this a little bit, bringing you guys content. But I have to say, this is probably one of the worst stories I have ever heard in my life. And I done seen this a lot of stuff. I done seen a lot of death, heard a lot of stories, stuff happen on TV, on the news. I think this has got to be one of the worst I ever heard, man. I'm gonna say this, man. My condolences go out to the family, to the Jeffries family, man. I'm from Florida. This is in St. Pete, so that's right down the road from where I live, where I reside. You know what I'm saying? Please protect your children, man. Please watch over your children, parents. You know what I'm saying? And when I mean parents, I'm talking about like, even your grown children. You know what I'm saying? Please, ladies, make sure that these guys that you're dating, man, make sure that you really vet these guys, have boundaries, and make sure that these guys, is not lunatics, man. Like, bro, it's no way. I'm gonna say this, man. Like, I'm sure this man exhibited some kind of instability, in the past, some type of red flags or something, man. This man stabbed that girl over 100 times and then threw his baby and her baby in a lake to drown and for alligators to eat, man. This is not normal, man. Like, ladies, man, listen, man, I'm not blaming her. I'm not blaming her at all. I'm not victim blaming. I'm just saying, man, do me a favor because I don't want this to happen to nobody else, bro. Make sure that these guys y'all date is playing with a full deck, man. Don't be just laughing it off like, oh, he's so crazy. Yeah, he real crazy. You know what I'm saying? What you think he gonna do when he get mad, man? I'm upset, bro. I ain't gonna even tell you no lie. Trigger warning, man. Anybody that watch this video, man, trigger warning. I'm upset. For real. I'm upset. And then I'm even more upset that he was found incompetent to stand trial. So right now he in Chattahoochee. That's the crazy house in Florida. You know? Like, and the lawyer explained that, he's just there until they can rehabilitate him and they can find him competent enough to stand trial. Okay, that's all well and cool. But what if they never find him competent enough to stand trial? You know? What if he continues they continue to find he's incompetent and then he just lives out the rest of his life eating jello and watching TV all day and getting high off of the medicine they give him. While that girl is dead, she got stabbed over 100 times. Her baby got killed. You know, one thing I'm glad, and it's a sad thing to say, but I'm glad she was gone before her baby, because she never knew what happened to her child. You know, that would have been even worse if she would have knew what happened to her child. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know whose death was worse, hers or the baby's, man. You know what I'm saying? She got stabbed over 100 times and her baby got threw in a lake for alligators to eat. Man, this is crazy, man. This is crazy, man. Man, I'm finna get off. I'm finna get off of this. I got to go. I got to chill out after this with him, man. That's crazy, man. Um, hit the like button, man. Subscribe to the channel. Um, donate to the channel, man. The Cash App is scrolling across the bottom of the screen right there, man. Y'all see it scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Shout out to Vashawn Taylor. Shout out to Sweet Baby Strawberries. Look, man, I'm upset. This one here got me, bro. I think this the worst one I ever seen, bro. I think this the worst one I ever seen, bro. I'm just saying, bro. That's his own baby, dog. I'm finna get off this. I gotta get off TV. I gotta get off the internet for a second, dog. Because boy, this one here was bad, dog. Like real talk, man. Like, share, comment to this video, man. Chill.